Welcome. I'm Reverend Aubrey Lynn, and it is my honor to be here today to facilitate, but beyond that, as a very dear friend of Lou, it's a special privilege to do her memorial service, which I want you to know I met with her last January or December, and she told me exactly how it would be done. So this is choreographed by she and not me. So I would just like to now share a little video about her life. There we go. And I'd like to ask you if you would please stand, and if you're so inclined, you may sing or you may hum or you may just listen as we do together How Great Thou Art. Would you please stand?
You're not really seated, okay?
No, I'm not.
Rolling thunder echoes throughout the universe display, and sings your soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art! How great thou art! And sings your soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Our Son was buried, as his taken and on the cross, I will gladly buried in heaven now to take away my sin. This is my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. This is my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. I shall come with shout of acclamation and take me home. What joy shall fill my heart, and I shall run with humble adoration, and there proclaim, my God, how great thou art. And sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. And sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
So we're gathered to celebrate the life and to cherish the loving memory of the divine spirit of Louise Bulebosh. Your presence here is both a tribute and an honor to Lou and a tribute to the living. We are also here to give companionship to those who from this day forward shall know a loved one only in memory. May this memory be one of beauty, inspiration, and comfort. We join in this tribute not with a sense of loss, but with the thought that out of this experience, out of the knowing of this wonderful human being, there will come something very precious. Something that shall be a guiding star and a promise to all who gather here today. The infinite life of God present here in this very room is also present within Lou, guiding her now and always. Remembering that spirit is eternal, We celebrate the ever-expanding life of the individual soul and the continuous of the divine love in through us all. Grateful for the healing hearts and the living spirits as we join together one divine life, we now deeply enter into a place of perfect peace, giving thanks that all is well. The poet Khalil Gibran said of death, "You would know the secret of death, but how shall you find it unless you seek it in the heart of life?" And we know for sure that Lou did live in the heart of all life. The owl whose night-bound eyes are blind into the day cannot unveil the mystery of the light. If you would indeed behold the spirit of death, open your heart wide with the body of life. For life and death are one, even as the river and the sea are one. In the depths of your hope and your desire lies the silent knowledge of the beyond. And like the seeds dreaming beneath the snow, your heart dreams of spring. Trust the dreams, for in them is hidden the gate to eternity. At a time of loss, we do not solicit sympathy. We do not desire a mental sedative. We desire the truth. Just as problems of yesterday are dissolved in the understanding of today, so the mystery of our transition is dissolved in our awakening to this expression. It's as if you watch a boat carrying a friend to the horizon. You may be sad. You suffer a personal loss. But those who are waiting at the other side, awaiting the arrival, it is a gain. And at the event of birth, we rejoice in the arrival and give no thought of the process and the preceded by departure. Yet we grieve the event of departure because we give no thought to being part of an arrival. It is the continuum. There's no beginning, there's no end. It's just moving from one place to another. And this was the belief of Lou. And just as a bend in the river does not mean that the river ceases flowing beyond our sight, so we realize that life does not begin with arrival on earth, nor does it end when departing from it. Life, again, is a continuum, and we honor the ongoing soul of Louise while remembering the experience of learning, loving, and growing on earth. And now I would like to ask if Rodney Benedict will grace us with his beautiful voice and speak and sing Amazing Grace. Rodney, please.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I see. Indeed, we see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to sing, and grace my fears relieved. the hour I first believed. Though many dangers toiled and sneers, I have already passed. 'Twas grace that brought me safe thus far to freedom that will last.
Thank you, Rodney. That was beautiful. All of the songs today were picked, of course, by Lou. I have been honored and blessed to know Lou for a year or so, and was surprised and delighted when I first met her. Her daughter Nanette reached out to me and asked me to go visit her mom and talk to her regarding her final wishes. So I expected to find this elderly ill woman in bed clinging to life. What I found was someone clinging full of life. This perky, pretty woman, dressed, hair done, jewelry on, sitting in a chair. And I thought, do I have the wrong room? And we had an immediate soul connection and made friends. I was delighted to know her, and Lou was enmeshed in new thought and unity principles, and we had so many delightful questions. But there's always a funny story. So the first time I met Lou, she wanted to know if I thought Jesus lived and married Mary Magdalena. Well, I actually had thought about that and I thought it could be possible. And that was it. Lou decided that I was on the same page with her, and the friendship began, and it never died until she moved on to the next incarnation. But it was so funny. And every time I came, she checked with me right to the end. So we had something that was so special. And I have been a minister for 19 years, and obviously I know some things. You know, you do 7 years of school and 19 more years. That's a lot of things to know. But she taught me so many more things. She read to me from her journals, and she shared part of her life. She read some of her stories, her poetry. Here's this room in Rocky Knolls, and there's a computer, and there's a desk, and there's these piles of books, and all of these papers and pencils, and give me that one, give me that one. And I had this miraculous journey with her that just kept my journey on my spiritual path moving forward and forward. And I was saddened by not being able to visit her with the early months of COVID. But as her health began to decline, they have once allowed clergy to come back. So I was going to be able to come back, and I did spend much more time with her. And I want to tell you something. Up until a week before she decided that she needed to move on, she was aware of what was going on and aware that I was there and would talk to me. We didn't talk about Mary Magdalena then, but we did talk about other things. And the week before that she passed, I came on a Sunday, and I went right from church to there, and I actually was wearing what I'm wearing now. And she was sitting up in bed. You got me? Sitting up in bed. And she was rubbing my arm, and she was saying, I like your blouse, which is why I had to wear this today. And she sat there for the longest time, and we didn't talk, and she was just rubbing my blouse. And it, to me, was just a beautiful transition. Like, I think that she was saying, it is time, and I love you. It is time, and I love you. Liv is certainly one of the souls that I want to connect with when I reach my final earthly days. So I just say to her, God bless you, my dear friend. I just say to you, God bless you, my dear friend. Thank you, Nanette, so much for introducing me to her and bringing this joy into my life. So right now, I would like to ask Nanette if she would come forward and she would share some thoughts with you also.
Thank you, Aubrey. Boy, was that a good call or what? That was, I can't tell you how grateful I am to this community, Unity Spiritual Center, and especially Reverend Aubrey Lynn. I know exactly how long you've known my mom because I contacted you in January 2019 when she was at St. Nicholas Hospital. And she didn't look good, and I thought her time was over then. And so that's when I called you, for no other reason that she had been a member of this church for 30 years ago, not since, but she was pretty active back then, along with my late sister Alice, our late sister Alice. They would come together, and so I just knew of all the religions, all the chaplains, all the ministers in town. You would be the one she would connect with. And as soon as I called you, I think I was in tears, and you said, oh yeah, tell me when, I'll come. You didn't know me, you didn't know her. So I'm so grateful. Yes, they made a connection. They talked about things Mom wouldn't tell Loretta or me. I had no idea she chose her songs. I didn't know. So I wrote what I felt about my mom in the obituary, which actually is as much her words as mine. I am cleaning her house now, going through her papers. It's a slow process because I'm finding short stories, poems, beautiful photographs that she's got everywhere, and I don't want to lose them. I know she's not a famous scholar. Like, I wish I could donate her papers to, the University of Parapsychology or something, because they would be valuable. I found out that my mom had such a rich intellectual life, much more than I ever even knew in the 62 years that I've known her. I had no idea. She wasn't able to go to college. She wanted to. It just wasn't in the family. So read that obituary if you haven't yet. That's what Mom and I said together. That's the legacy she wants to leave. I'm going to start out with a poem and then tell you what legacy I think she's leaving or what she's leaving me, and then I'll end with a story. The poem is one you might have heard, but it was in her papers. As some of you know, she was a celebrant, so she did weddings, baptisms, funerals, and so she did research, and she worked with the people and the families. So this was one that she probably read at a funeral. Don't think of her as gone away. Her journey's just begun. Life holds so many facets. This earth is only one. Just think, Suri's trying to talk here. Just think of her as resting from the sorrows and the tears in a place of warmth and comfort where there are no days or years. Think how she must be wishing that we could know today how nothing but our sadness can really pass away. And think of her as living in the hearts of those she touched. For nothing loved is ever lost. And she was loved so much. Mom, you really were loved by so many people, everyone who met you. The legacy she believes she is leaving you, if you read the obituary, is to not think of death as an ending, but a beginning. She would also like you to further her research on reincarnation, past lives, psychology, parapsychology, the spiritual world. There are groups studying that now. She founded a group called Kai, and they met monthly. And maybe the friends who passed over are meeting there now. That was very important to her. But to me, what she has left me is what I wrote in the original post I put online the morning she died. Thursday, August 27th. I wanted to put something right away. This beautiful photo of her on a fence when she was 21 years old. And I wrote, my mom was beautiful inside and out, but never more so than when she was talking about her passions. She was a writer, innkeeper, entrepreneur, lover of nature and animals, and a loyal, generous friend. She taught me to follow my dreams, always look for the bright side, and to never let setbacks, failures, or others' judgments define me. And that last one, that's key for me. Don't let others' judgments define you. She never did. She grew up in the Depression. She was born in 1928. Their family had nothing. They struggled. She felt the eyes of better established people looking at her. She felt self-conscious about people who were able to go to college, and she could not. But she never let that stop her or slow her down. Her example was, don't let anyone else define you. She lived with the man. If you saw the pictures, they were deeply in love at first, but like so many marriages, it didn't end friendly. My dad would be the first to say, you think she's a saint, but she was no saint. And I just spent the last 2 years seeing her quite often, and my dad was right. She's pretty demanding. No marriage is up to one person, and it's very hard to make them work. And in fact, if someone has a secret of making a marriage work, I'd like to talk to you later. It was tough, and he insulted her. I think in his defense, he just didn't have the vocabulary to talk about his feelings. He didn't have the emotional intelligence. But Loretta heard the things he said to her every day. And yet she did not let that define her. She knew who she was from a very young age. So I am passing on her legacy to my children. I'm so glad that they're here, John and Simone, two other young people in the audience, Guy, Cordy, all the other young at heart people here. I'm so grateful that you're here, and all the people who might be watching online. Don't let others define you. It took me 62 years to figure this out. As a matter of fact, Mom was very judgmental about me. And she has strong ideas of who I should be, but you know what, Mom? I'm going to do as you do, not as you say, and I am going to live my remaining time on earth defining myself. The other legacy that she left me was watching her on her final journey and how hard that was. She was in pain. She had this foot infection. Of all the weird things to die of, this foot infection. It's not a good way to die. It's not a good way to die. It was hard to watch her. It was hard for her. She never stopped believing in a miracle, hoping for a miracle, something that was going to change everything, but that wasn't to be. But she faced that with grace, with dignity, with courage, with strength, with a fierce, fierce kind of strength, perseverance, tolerance, and because she was Lou Bulebosh, a great deal of humor and wit right up to the end. She was amazing. So when I face that kind of situation, I will remember her courage, how she faced her pain every day. She just dealt with it. So I'm going to finish with this story. I don't think she wrote it, but it was in her papers, the Lou Bulebosh papers. It's called The Ship. It very much summarizes what you want to take away today, what she wants you to take away today about her and this service today. I am standing upon the seashore. A ship at my side spreads her white sails to the morning breeze and starts for the blue ocean. She is an object of beauty and strength. I stand and watch her until at length she hangs like a speck of white cloud just where the sea and sky come to mingle with each other. Then someone at my side says, "There, she's gone." Gone where? Gone from my sight. That is all. She is just as large in mast and hull and spar as she was when she left my side, and she is just as able to hear to bear her load of living freight to her destined port. Her diminished size is in me, not in her. And at just the moment when someone at my side says, "There, she's gone," there are other eyes watching her coming, and other voices ready to take up the glad shout, "Here, she comes!" And that is value. Thank you so much.
This is the story of Louise in memory of Louise Bulebosh, who was my aunt and mentor. This is the story of Louise, who came to earth on a breeze. She brought with her knowledge, to which she added some college, and in fact, checked it all with the trees. To begin, you need to know Louise was never alone. She traveled through time with some called divine, in a spaceship we all called a soul. Louise had a beloved brother, Joe, her elder sister, Vi, and she were close. Growing up in a city, life wasn't always pretty, so she made friends with nature, spirit knows. Softly, Louise grew in beauty. Each day she listened deeply and followed her wisdom, intuition. She knew each soul comes equipped to emerge from a cocoon of changing life and growth through love and strife, building wings to fly with courage. Louise, we will miss you. You were daughter, you were sister, you were wife to your mister, you were mom and grandmama, you were Lou, friend, minister, and teacher. For me, Louise opened the door and showed me so much more. A world beyond, where those spiritually seeking curiously traveled in time to soar. She passed on, but she's still near, sending signs to remind us, listen, listen and hear. Your life is a gift, so don't let it drift. Be your best, then let go of the rest. Louise's story takes us to now, where we all share her greatest powwow. As Sacagawea would say, we must not grow alone in any way. So together, let's close our eyes and pray. Great Divine, we thank you at this time for your gift of beloved Lou. My Aunt Lou used to use a vow and share this little prayer for couples who she married because she was a minister. Between us, everything can be said. We are two people, yet one unit. Everything can be said, the good and the bad, the most beautiful and the ugly. There must be nothing secret, no words that we cannot listen to from each other, nothing we cannot do with each other. We are bound together, yet separate. Each time something is held back, it builds part of a wall. Each little thing, no matter how small, builds on that wall. And then one day, you will find you are on one side and I am on the other. And it has become so high there is no climbing over. For a time, we have lived within ourselves alone. And now we must start something new and share everything together. Everything, like two wandering streams that come together. We must not grow alone in any way. Aunt Lou, I love you, I'm gonna miss you, and for all those people who are present at the memorial, I want you to know I'm there too in spirit, especially for those who are left behind. My cousins, Nanette and Loretta, and my other family members who are there as well. So, I love you, and may you all be surrounded with light and love. Now,
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. And then we'd like to ask, is there anybody else that's here that would like to come up and share some thoughts, some words, some love? If there's a burning in your tummy, come on up and do it.
Well, either way, either one.
Okay, this is so much scripted. My cousins requested, if I had any words, nothing came to mind. Because of this.
That is who you are.
I know, I'm trying to get there. But I'm Kelly, I'm her great niece. And that right there, the purple one, she's a great niece. I didn't get to know Lou growing up. A few letters, but her sister adopted my brother and I when we were little. It wasn't till probably it was exactly a decade ago when I felt myself drowning. I needed to escape. And she was open arms, open home. She saved me. The most gentle, eloquently spoken, and educated woman I'd ever met. And she always kept that inquisitive innocence about her. She can never learn that. She's the last of last of a real generation of oh man, I don't even know how to word it, I really don't. They don't make them like they made her, that's for sure. She was full of energy and stories, and like Nanette had said, she was in so much pain, but it never deterred her from smiling and asking how you were doing.
There's some Kleenex on
Oh, okay, thank you. I have already lost it. My mom lived on her, I know that. And it just feels like there's seriously a missing part in this entire world whatsoever with her gone. And I hope she does live on in all of you. I see it in her daughters. And they are so blessed. These are some strong women. And it's because of that woman right there. Louise was a pioneer in her own way. And most influential being, I wish quickly, I wish you could have got to know her. And luckily she was able to meet one of my best friends who's I'm gonna be marrying. I've been wanting him to meet her for, well, the last 10 years. I'm so sorry, I don't ever do this. So, but I thank you all for coming out and anyone watching. And for anyone who was blessed to just have an hour conversation with this woman, I know it's stuck with them the rest of their lives and influenced them in some sort of way. All right, I'm gonna stop being a mess now. And I love you, Auntie Lou. I love you guys. Thank you for having me. My family.
Thank you. I know exactly how you feel. Touch. Anybody else? Did you just wipe it off? I left the things right there.
I don't know.
I had them on your thing.
Oh, there they are.
No, they disappeared.
I apologize.
Oh, no. Precaution.
Not gonna like it, Katie.
There you go. Thank you. I'm Lisa Paulson. Lou and I were neighbors for, well, since she moved in just up down the street from me. I was part of the intentional community called High Wind, an ecological and spiritual community that began in the late 1970s. And I didn't see a lot of Lou in those early years. She was certainly active in the community. I think one of the first times I saw her, she was hosting a political meeting for Anita Klein, I think it was. And then a little bit later, she brought together all the neighbors for a wonderful tea in her little bed and breakfast, the Spring Farm Tulip House, I think she called it, full of antiques and miniatures that she collected lovingly. I didn't really get to know her well until she was becoming more disabled. It was hard for her to get around, and I found out that she needed help to go around to see her doctors, to go shopping, to have her hair done. And so it was my great privilege to be able to be her chauffeur. And in those trips, we got to know each other and found out how much we had in common. For one thing, we were the same age. I'm just 4 months older than she was, born in 1928.
So we are fellow dinosaurs in this modern age. And so a lot of the values and the memories, the historical facts of our era, we shared. And this was wonderful because there aren't too many people left who can do that. And we found out how much we had in common. For one thing, I had spent years doing paranormal research in Milwaukee, exploring past lives, reincarnation, all sorts of psychic experiments and so forth. So that was fun. And then we were fellow writers. I've written a number of books, mostly about our work at High Wind. So we had that in common. And also I found out that we had both lived and worked in Brazil. She was in Rio de Janeiro. I was up in the northeast of Brazil back in the 1960s. I forget exactly when she was there. So there were a lot of touch points for us. And so I really enjoyed those trips we made together. And then when she moved on to Rocky Knoll, I was able to visit her there for a while until COVID came along and couldn't do it anymore. But I just really admired and treasured those times we had together, and got to know the depth of this person who was so strong and so elegant and so glamorous, right up to the end. So I'm very happy to share in this today with all of you. And to Lou, I just say, bon voyage, enjoy your next life and all the lives to come.
Thank you. I would say that we are celebrating a very extraordinary woman today, and I'm just honored to be a part of that. Is there anybody else that would like to speak?
I have known Lou mostly through her daughters. I was friends with Alice and Nanette for a very long time. I have been part of most of Nanette's celebrations and bosses. I helped her with her wedding. I gave her a baby shower for her son. We were neighbors for quite a while. And so when her father was failing and her mother, while I was not physically with her, I admired Nanette. Of course, I admired Alice as well. And was at Alice's funeral as well. And miss Alice tremendously. But I've seen how Nanette has managed to get through these very, very difficult, challenging times she went through with both of her parents. And I admire her tremendously for what you had to bear. I knew your father on occasions. I knew his personality. It was very familiar to my father. We did have one special time together when, I don't know if it was you or your mother that hired me. Do you remember who?
Oh, his 80th birthday.
Yes.
At Waldo.
Or was that Alice? Who hired me? I don't know.
think Alice hired you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I used to be a performer and entertainer, with another reason I know Nanette, going way back in theater years. And I used to do comic telegrams. And so it was her dad's, Ed's 80th birthday. And he used to go to the little coffee shop in Waldo every week, right?
Yeah, well,
And he would be there with his cronies. And so I went and did a comic telegram on him, and he had no idea what was going on. He didn't laugh as much as some people that I have done it for, but everybody else got a good kick out of it, including your mom.
yeah.
And so I know that Lou had a great sense of humor, and the depth of her soul is phenomenal. And so I was glad I was able to be here and have, well, and I sat with Lou during Ed's funeral as well, because they had the gun salute out at Nanette's house, and Lou was not very mobile at the time, as am I sometimes, and so I sat with Lou and we talked all through the ceremony, and we held hands during it. So I'm sorry I did not hold Lou's hands through these times, but I hope you knew I was with you.
Okay. Last chance.
I apologize, I'm not the best at small group speaking or public speaking at all, but I wanted to share, I've known Lou since I was born. She baptized me. She actually performed at my wedding as well. She was my celebrant. And I knew her because Alice was my godmother. Most recently, within the last year or two, time goes by so fast for me, but got to go into her house, spend some time with her there and kind of help her out with little things. She didn't ask, of course. She really just asked me to come out because she had gotten a new cat who really was full of life and gave her so many laughs. But his nails, or her nails, I don't remember which it was, but Sparky's nails were too long. And that cat would chase her around the house and kind of play with her, even though she's not playing, but the cat was, and kind of just get her with his little claws. So, but while I was out there, I got to know her on a whole new level, even though knowing her for already 30 plus years. She was just so proud of both of her girls, of course, so grateful for her neighbors, because she talked about, I don't remember which one is which, but talked about you so often and how grateful she was that people were stepping up constantly and helping her, even though it was nobody's, they didn't have to, you know, she never thought anybody had to help her. But. And then I went and visited her at Rocky Knoll. My mother works there and takes care of her as well, or took care of her as well. So we went and had lunch, and she had so many friends. She wasn't even there that long, and she already knew soon so-and-so needed his coffee, or she needed her chocolate milk, and she would be the voice, you forgot their creamer, you know, or something. So she was just such a personal person who remembered the little details about every single person. And I think that was a great quality of her. And when you got to spend time with her, you heard all these stories of things, I mean, I never knew existed, with reincarnation and things like that. And she was so proud of all the journeys that she had gone on with other people too. Not even just the people that I had known, but stories that she had, you know, people from Brazil and things I had never even gotten to know about her being a child. You know, you go through different stages in your relationship. So I'm really grateful that I took the time to go out there, even if it was just an hour or two a week, to get to learn a whole new side of her and I guess appreciate her more for everything that she was. So
And you shared your birthday.
Oh yes, and we shared birthdays, so I shared pretty much every birthday, at least when Alice was alive, with her for years and years. So.
I think that picture was taken at one of your birthday parties.
Could have been, probably at Country Crafts, yeah. It'll be our first birthday. I don't remember how many years we were apart, but it was a substantial amount, but we always had so much fun every year sharing our little celebration until country grass closed, and it wasn't so. But I'll definitely think of her on Tuesday, so.
Anybody else? Loretta. Loretta, bring us home.
I'll bring you all home. Okay, this is the entertainment. It could be a little long, so you may want to get a beverage. Oh, the bar's closed, I was just told. Okay, my mom, she was all about the laughter. I mean, if you knew her, it was about the laughter. And my relationship with her was the laughter. I would call her like every day, and all we did was laugh. One time when she was at Rocky-Knoll, Nanette was in the room, and I'm talking to my mom on the phone, and Nanette's like, "What are you laughing about?" We're laughing, you know, and we would talk about nothing and laugh. We talk about politics and laugh. We talk about fellow family members and laugh. People we didn't know, we laughed about. Well, one thing that she did, I know this is gonna be hard to believe, but I was really shy when I don't want to say smaller, but when I was younger. And she helped me get out of my shell. She got me a magic trick. Maybe she wanted me to disappear. She got me a ventriloquist doll. Maybe she wanted me to be silent. She got me a guitar. She got me a marionette. I mean, she's really pushing this circus thing on me to get me out of my shell. And now, if you ask Nanette, we're probably sorry that she did that. One thing, my mom and I, we were on the same level. I would just say something and she would get it. And then we'd laugh so hard. You ever laugh so hard you can't get your breath? You're like, wait a minute, wait. We would laugh like that. And I don't want to kill you, Mom, but we always laugh. And one thing she did, I'll share a little story. I came up with a little scenario which we laughed about, and she wanted me to send it to Saturday Night Live. Mom, they don't want to hear from me. She said, no, send it, it's really funny. This is what it was. I live in Florida, and a while ago they had a story in the newspaper about a Muslim couple from Iraq had moved to Florida, and they were getting their driver's license. So the husband, took the test, got the license, got the picture taken, fine. The wife, wearing a full burqa, mind you, takes the test, and then she stands and, stand here for the photo. And the guy says, you're gonna take that off, because, that can't be your picture, you're in a burqa. And she didn't get it. So they thought it was maybe because there were other men in the room. And so they told the woman, well, we'll get a female member of the staff, we'll take you in another room, take off your burqa, we'll take your picture, you get your license. No, she's not taking it off. Well, she didn't understand it could have been anybody under there. So needless to say, that woman didn't get her license. So that got me thinking about stuff. And my mom, we cracked up about this like 2-3 weeks before she passed. We were still talking about it. Scenario, Miss World contest. We're down to 3 final semifinalists. We got Miss America, Miss Italy, and Miss Iran. And this is the last test to see who's going to win, who's going to be the talent portion of the show. So Miss America gets up and she does a beautiful rendition of Rhapsody in Blue. She just knocked it out of the park, and the judges are like, wow, yeah, she's really good, maybe she'll win, yeah, okay, yeah. So now Miss Italy gets up and she does opera, and she did Madame Butterfly. And the judges go, wow, you may win, that's really, really good, really good. So now the contestant from Iran is coming on the stage, and she has a little suitcase. And the woman's wearing a whole burqa from Iran, right? Obviously, they didn't have a bathing suit competition. So she opens the little suitcase, and there's a little miniature dummy in a full burqa also. She's a ventriloquist act. She's wearing a burqa, okay? So all of a sudden you hear this talking, and and the little head's going like that, and the judge is going, wow, that is so good. Look at her. And the two other contestants are, what do you mean? You can't see her mouth. You don't know if she's moving her lips. And you hear the voice of the woman in the burqa, and the little doll's like moving around, and they're like, no. So then she does the trick that all ventriloquists do. She gets the glass of water. They're going to drink water and throw their voice, right? So she puts the water under her burqa. You don't know if she's drinking it or not. And the judges are going, oh, she's so good, she may win. And the other two contestants are, what do you mean? You can't see her lips whether they're moving or not. And my mom and I, we laugh and laugh and laugh. She says, Loretta, you have to send that to Saturday Night Live. And I said, well, Mom, right now, it might not be politically correct to do that. And she says, no, they'll find a way. So I may send that. If I disappear, I sent it and they didn't, okay? So I have a couple notes here. And what I wanted to say is, my mom taught the three of us by example. Okay? We would watch her live her life, and so naturally we're going to copy it. My mom was a person of character, integrity, and she was a person of principle. And way back in the dinosaur ages, people used to actually eat dinner together at the kitchen table. No cell phones. Whoa, what a concept. And because we all would sit down and eat dinner together, the three girls, Allison and I, would watch my mom and dad talk about different things going on in their lives. And that's how we learned about things. Well, this one time my mom and dad were talking about, it was right before Christmas. And my mom worked at a company that made animal feed for farmers all over the country. And she was an executive secretary, but they didn't pay her executive pay. And she went into work 2 weeks before the holidays, and her boss pulled her aside and said, Lou, I pulled some strings. I'm going to be able to get you a Christmas bonus, okay? And my mom's like, oh, wow, we really need the money. Loretta's so expensive with her ventriloquist dolls and her magic. So she turned around, though, after thinking about it, and she asked her boss, now, are all the secretaries going to get a bonus? And he said, unfortunately, the company didn't approve that. You're going to be the only one to get it, so keep it. And without a thought, my mom said, no, unless everyone gets a bonus, I don't want it. And we needed it. We were poor. We needed that. And we heard that at the dinner table, like, wow, she did that. Right before Christmas, she got her check. The bonus is in the check. And she's like, oh. So she said, I'll take care of it after work. I don't want to make a big fuss about it right now because I have the rest of the day to do with my boss. At lunchtime, she goes to the lunchroom, and here are all the other secretaries going, oh, did you look at your check? We got a bonus. Did you get one? I got one. Look how much we got. Because of my mom. Because of her. All the women there got a bonus. I'm hoping she got a bigger bonus. But because of her character and integrity, she could not accept it unless everyone got it. She taught us to do random acts of kindness before it was a phrase. And she taught me, probably Allison and that also, that she said the Lord will put opportunities in front of you every day to help someone. It's up to you to recognize them and do it without accepting anything in return. That's what she taught us. And to this day, I'm always doing it. I'm looking for ways to help people. Ma'am, can I help you with your cart? No. No, let me help you with your grocery cart. No, let me help you with your grocery cart. Every day, opportunities are put in front of you to help another human being. And that was my mom's thing, helping other people without expecting anything in return. Because the real gift was the knowledge that you helped another human being. And she taught me that. She will be missed. We used to watch Dancing with the Stars together on the phone. She loved that show. One time we're watching it when my dad was alive, and we're on the phone, and my dad's like, who are you talking to? Loretta. Well, how come you're not talking? Well, we're watching TV. Well, why are you on the phone? We're watching TV together. But then why aren't you talking? You don't get it. We're commenting on the costumes, on the dancing. He just didn't get it. But one thing we shared, we'd watch it together on television because she loved that show. And this past week, I guess 2 weeks, it started again. And that kind of hurts because there was no one to call to share the show with because she was gone. And they changed the show. I don't think she really liked the new show anyway because all the people she liked her on. So anyway, in closing, because the bar's still closed, I could go on, but I have another gig right down the street in about 30 minutes, and that's a painting gig. In closing, whoever met my mom met an extraordinary woman. She was generous with her time. She didn't judge people. Just because you're a part of a group, whether you're Jewish, Catholic, Afro-American, Spanish, Chinese, Arab, Muslim, she didn't care because she judged people on an individual basis. What are you going to do for me or what did you not do for me? She didn't group everybody. And she taught me that also. So, farewell, Mom. We miss you. I'm sure you're right here with us right now. You're one of those chairs. So I'm going to see if you're really here, okay? Mom, if you're here, make it lightning. Make the lights blink. Do something. Too much? Apparently, she's not going to do that. I just want to thank everybody for coming out to celebrate my mom. I used to tell her all the time, out of all my mothers, you're my favorite mother. And we'd laugh. I always told her, I'm your favorite, right? And I'm sure she told Nanette she was her favorite. But I was the wrong favorite, okay? Don't tell her. Thank you very much.
I know who the favorite is, then I will take it to my grave.
The check's in the mail.
I'm totally kidding. Maybe. Oh, wow. I guess that about sums up. But then could you possibly ever sum up a life so well lived? So let us stand, and another song that Lou asked us to do was on Ingalls. I can't talk anymore. One of those things, Eagles Wings.
Eagles Wings.
Yeah, as we went crazy, she told me Angels Wings, and we couldn't find it, but we finally figured it out. So, do we have words?
I think so. I don't know.
I hope so.
All I just know that it's on.
Okay, well,
I believe
make it
it.
louder. Make no words. We'll hum.
I think there are words.
You dwell in the shelter of the Lord.
raise you up on eagle's wings. There you are, the breath of God. Make you to shine like the sun and hold you in the palm of His hand. The shadow of the Pharaoh will never catch you, and famine will bring you no pain. Unless your refuge, His faithfulness your shield. Raise you up on eagle's wings. There you are, the breath of God. Make you to shine like the sun and hold you in the palm of His hand. And for to His angels He's given a command to guard you in all of your ways. Upon their hands they will bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. Raise you up on eagle's wings. There you are, the breath of God. Make you to shine like the sun and hold you in the palm of His hand. And hold you in the palm of His hand.
Please be seated. Death is nothing at all. I have only slipped away to the next room. Whatever we were to each other, we are still. Call me by my old familiar name. Speak to me in the easy way, which you always used to. Laugh. Laugh as we always laugh together. Play, smile, and think of me. Pray for me. Let my name be a household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without effort. Life means all it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. There is absolutely unbroken continuity. Why should I be out of your mind because I'm out of your sight? I am but waiting for you, for an interval, somewhere very near, just around the corner. All is well. Nothing is past, nothing is lost. One brief moment, and all will be as it was before, only better, infinitely happy, forevermore. Let us pray. Let us pray as we release Louise Bulebosh to the greener pastures and she's at rest with God. Let us know that in our hearts, not only do we remember the beauty of this woman who's touched all of our lives, but we take the wisdom, and from that wisdom we become kinder, nicer, people with high integrity, respect. We take care of planet Earth. We take care of the hearts and souls of all around us. We do that random kind of that thing. We do. We do. Because it's not something that we have to do. It's something that comes from within you, from your heart. And if it isn't a part of your life, make it a part of your life now. Because this is what we're being challenged to by our elders that are teaching us. We pray now that Lou is already dancing with God, rearranging everything and telling him how it should be. We know this for sure. And she's here with us. She's in my heart right now, and she's in all of your hearts. So, beloved Father, Mother, God, open our hearts and our souls that we may leave a legacy, that from what we've learned from this beautiful soul, that we pass this on, that we don't keep it hidden in our hearts and souls, but we share. We share the stories and the memories and the fun. And we make sure that our young people carry it forward, that it's never forgotten that there was a woman, her name Louise Bulebosh, and she touched life, her own life and every life around her. And we are so grateful, Father, Mother, God, for knowing this person, for the life and the soul and the beauty and the love that has had the grace to walk on the sacred ground of the planet Earth. And for this, and for so much more, we're ever grateful. So we send you our love, Lou, and we open our hearts to constantly receive yours. This is our prayer, to learn to be just like you. And together we just say, amen. And let's stay seated as we sing the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever.
I'd like to thank you all on behalf of the family for being with us today. And I believe that Annette would like you to take a white carnation with you before you leave. So
If
thank
your
you.
mother is, it symbolizes a motherhood. So if your mother is passed, you wear a white rose. So yes, please take one.
Thank you.
Then there are some comments here. I don't know if you want to see them.
Sure. Do we have time? I mean, sorry for the long service.
It's fine.
Sure. Thank you, Jules. I am so grateful.
Can you see it okay?
So my friend Martika, who is another, like a fifth, if Kat was a fourth daughter, Martika was a fifth daughter. She's known Mom as long as she's known me. In wrapping family and friends with love as we celebrate Lou's earth life, she's on to the next incarnation in glory. She raised me up. Wow, I even get, oh, and Louise M says, wow, I even get a mention at the service. I love chasing Lou. Louise adopted Sparky. Martika said she's singing from North Carolina. Al, my cousin Al, I'm sure Aunt Louise is here too. So thank you everyone. I know my Aunt Betty had also said how much she loved her and she's glad she's out of pain. I am Lou's sister-in-law and I'm here to remember her. Oh, so many people. Kat was here. Deb, Sable Williams, we're here in spirit. The service is beautiful, tribute to Lou, love to all. Bridget, one of my former students, beautiful words and delivered with full Bosch flair, sending you my support and love. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. I've never felt so enveloped in love. And Mom would be so thrilled by all this love and attention. So thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
If anybody's in dire need of coffee, we have a pot of coffee downstairs. Otherwise,
Please make sure you sign our guest book and look at the photos. Because she was indeed a beautiful woman.
um,